Mnisha Koirala. 2 major awards.
Oh, wow.
The Filmfare OTT Award and the I2 Award.
Both for Hiramandi.
Both for her role in Hiramandi, The Diamond Bazaar. And, this is actually
Hold on, she won.
her 3rd Filmfare Award.
Her 3rd.
Yeah. Pretty amazing.
That's incredible.
We are diving deep into the world of Hiramandi today.
Okay.
It's a Netflix series set in pre-independence India, specifically in Lahore's Hiramandi red light district.
Okay.
And we've got a lot to unpack.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Lahore, that's an interesting choice of setting, I think.
Yeah.
Lahore was and still is a cultural melting pot.
Right.
Especially during that pre-independence period.
Yeah.
And by focusing on Hiramandi, the show can explore themes of love, power, and revolution.
Yeah.
All against the backdrop of this incredibly vibrant and complex society.
Right. So we're not just talking about like a love story here.
No.
There's this whole layer of history and social dynamics that just adds so much depth. I'm particularly interested in these figures, Malika Jan and Faridin.
Yeah.
They're locked in this power struggle. It sounds intense.
It is intense. And their struggle, it's not just about personal ambition.
Okay.
It represents a clash between old and new, tradition and change.
Yeah.
Think about it. The Hiramandi district was home to tawifs, courtesans.
Yeah.
Highly skilled artists, but also subject to a very strict social hierarchy.
Yeah.
Lives were intertwined with the power structures of the time.
Okay, so before we go any further, can you explain what tawifs were exactly? I've heard the term.
Of course.
But I'm not entirely sure. I understand their role in society.
Tawifs were more than just courtesans. They were trained in music, dance, poetry. They were artists, entertainers of their time.
Okay.
They held a unique position in society, often wielding considerable influence.
Wow.
Especially over wealthy patrons, called nawabs.
Okay, and what about mujra? I've seen some incredible dance sequences in Bollywood films.
Absolutely.
And I understand mudra is a traditional form of dance.
Yeah.
How does it fit into Hiramandi?
Well, mudra is an integral part of Tawaif culture. It's a dance form that combines elements of Kathak and other classical Indian styles. Okay. Often with a strong emphasis on storytelling and emotion. So in Hiramandi, the mudra performances are more than just entertainment. They're windows into the characters' hearts and minds.
That's fascinating. It sounds like the director, Sanjay Leela Bhansali, is using all these elements, the history, the Tawaif culture, the mudra dance, to create this incredibly layered world. And from what I've heard, he is known for his visually stunning films.
He's a master of visual storytelling. He uses rich colors, elaborate sets and costumes to create a truly immersive experience.
Yeah.
In a way, his style is reminiscent of Mughal-e-Azam, the classic Bollywood epic.
Right.
But Bhansali isn't just imitating. He's bringing his own unique vision to Hiramandi.
It seems like there's a lot to unpack here.
There is.
We have these powerful figures vying for control.
Yeah.
This backdrop of Tawaif culture and mudra dance. And this director known for his visual flair.
It's got to be.
But what about the individual characters?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Should we be paying attention to?
Well, there's Alam, Malika Jan's daughter. She's caught between her love for a revolutionary and her duty to her family and their position in Hiramandi.
Oh, wow.
Her story's really about navigating those complex choices in a society undergoing massive change.
And under British rule, no less.
Yes.
So we've got all these personal struggles playing out against this backdrop of a nation on the verge of independence. It's not just about individual lives. It's about a society at a crossroads.
Exactly. It's like, Alam's choices, they force her and us as viewers to confront the complexities of that era.
Right.
She's not just choosing between two men.
Okay.
She's wrestling with the expectations of her class, her culture, and a rapidly changing political landscape.
Right. I imagine those expectations were pretty intense.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially for a woman in her position.
Yeah.
Did tawifs have much freedom to make their own choices?
That's a complicated question.
Okay.
On one hand, tawifs, they held a certain degree of power.
Okay.
They were often wealthy, influential.
Okay.
And their artistic talents were highly respected. But on the other hand, they were also subject to social stigma.
Right.
And were often trapped within the confines of the Hiramandi world.
It's like they were walking this tightrope.
Yeah.
Balancing their power with the limitations placed upon them by society. I wonder if Elam's story is in some ways a reflection of that larger struggle for autonomy and self-expression.
I think you're onto something there. Okay. The show seems to be exploring the different ways women navigated those societal expectations, both within and outside of the toy tradition.
Okay, so we have these rich historical and social themes, these complex characters making tough choices.
Yeah.
And then there's Pansali's signature style.
Yes, right.
Layered on top of it all.
And it's interesting how he uses those visuals to heighten the emotional impact of the story.
Right.
You know, the opulence of the sets and costumes almost becomes a metaphor for the complexities of the characters' lives.
Yeah.
You have all this beauty and grandeur.
Right.
But underneath it, there's this simmering tension.
Right.
A sense that everything could unravel at any moment.
It's like he's creating a visual language.
Yes.
To convey the unspoken emotions.
Exactly.
The desires.
Yeah.
The secrets that are hidden beneath the surface.
Right.
I've heard that he does this with music and dance as well.
Absolutely. Pansali is a master of using all these elements, music, dance, visuals, to create a truly immersive experience.
Right.
He doesn't just tell a story.
Yeah.
He creates a world that you could feel and experience on multiple levels.
You mentioned Mughal Azam earlier.
Yes.
I know it's a classic.
It is.
But I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Can you tell me a bit more about it and why people are comparing it to Hiramandi?
Okay. Mughal Azam is an epic historical drama about a forbidden love affair between a Mughal prince and a court dancer. It's known for its grand scale, its beautiful music, and its tragic love story.
Wow.
The comparison to Hiramandi is interesting because it suggests that Pansali is trying to capture a similar sense of grandeur and emotional intensity.
Right.
You know, both stories deal with love, power, and societal expectations.
Yeah.
But Hiramandi is obviously set in a different time period.
Yeah.
And explores those themes through a different lens.
So it's not just a visual homage to Mughal Azam. It's more about capturing the essence of that epic storytelling style.
Yeah.
And speaking of storytelling, I'm curious about the Mujra dance sequences.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned that they're not just entertainment.
Right.
They're windows into the characters' hearts and minds.
They are. They are.
Can you elaborate on that?
Well, think about the way Mujra combines classical dance movement with storytelling and emotional expression.
Okay.
And Hiramandi, Pansali, uses these dances to reveal the characters' inner conflicts, their desires, their vulnerabilities. It's like a language that goes beyond words, allowing us to connect with them on a deeper level.
It's fascinating how a dance form can be so expressive.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Mujra sequence from Hiramandi?
There's a scene where Alam performs a mudra that expresses her yearning for freedom and her struggle to break free from the expectations that are holding her back. It's incredibly powerful. Pansali uses a mix of traditional Kathak movements and more contemporary choreography to create this sense of yearning and defiance.
Wow. That sounds really moving.
It is.
It makes me think about how Hiramandi is exploring these themes of tradition and modernity, not just through the story, but through the very style of the show itself.
Absolutely.
Like he's blending these classic art forms with a modern sensibility to create something entirely new.
And that's what makes Pansali such a visionary director.
Yeah.
You know, he takes these familiar elements, the history, the culture, the art forms, and reimagines them for a contemporary audience. He's not just preserving the past. He's engaging with it in a way that feels fresh and relevant.
And from what I've heard, he's getting a lot of praise for Hiramandi.
He is.
Critics seem to be really impressed with the show's immersive storytelling and its exploration of complex themes.
The critical reception has been overwhelmingly positive.
Wow.
People are praising this show for its visual grandeur, its nuanced performances, and its willingness to tackle difficult topics.
Right.
It's clear that Pansali has created something special with Hiramandi.
It sounds like he's managed to strike a balance.
He has.
Between entertaining and enlightening.
Yeah.
He's giving us this visually stunning world, these captivating characters, but he's also asking us to think about these deeper themes of love, power, and freedom.
Exactly, and that's why the show is resonating with so many people.
Yeah.
It's not just escapism.
Right.
It's an invitation to engage with history, with culture, and with the complexities of human experience.
So we have this incredible setting.
We do.
These complex characters and this director who is clearly a master of his craft.
He is.
But here's what I keep coming back to.
Yeah.
In this world of power struggles, forbidden romances, and a nation on the brink of independence, what sacrifices will be made, what price will be paid for freedom, you know, it feels like those questions are at the heart of Hiramandi.
They certainly are. The show doesn't shy away from the fact that freedom, both personal and political, often comes at a cost.
Right, especially in a society like Hiramandi where, you know, traditions and power dynamics were so deeply entrenched.
Yeah.
It makes me think about Alam and the choices she's facing.
Right.
What kind of sacrifices might she have to make?
Well, remember, she's torn between her duty to her family and her love for, you know, a revolutionary.
Right.
Both paths demand sacrifice.
Yeah.
Staying true to her family means upholding the traditions of Hiramandi, even if it means compromising her own happiness. And choosing love and revolution could mean losing her family, her status, maybe even her safety.
That's a heavy burden to carry, especially for a young woman. You know, it highlights the personal stakes involved in these larger societal shifts. It's not just about like abstract ideas. It's about real people grappling with these incredibly difficult choices.
Exactly. And Hiramandi does, I think, a brilliant job of personalizing those historical changes. We see how these grand events like the struggle for independence, you know, filter down and impact individual lives in such profound ways.
It's like the show is reminding us that history isn't just like dates and battles.
No.
It's the sum of, you know, countless personal stories.
Right.
Each one filled with its own triumphs and tragedies.
Exactly. And by focusing on those personal stories, Hiramandi invites us, I think, to connect with the past on a more emotional level. You know, we're not just observing these events from a distance, we're experiencing them through the eyes of the characters.
Right. It sounds like Bhansali has created this world that's both historically rich and emotionally resonant. He's giving us these grand sweeping visuals, but he's also, you know, grounding the story in the intimate realities of these characters' lives.
And he's using all the tools at his disposal, right?
Yeah.
The music, the dance, the cinematography,
right.
Everything works together to create this this immersive and unforgettable experience.
You've definitely made me eager to see Hiramandi for myself.
Oh, good.
It sounds like, you know, more than just a show. It's a journey into this world that's both familiar and foreign, a world that challenges us to confront these complexities of history and, you know, the human condition.
And ultimately, I think that's why it's resonating with so many viewers. You know, Hiramandi is a visual feast, a historical drama, and a deeply personal story, all rolled into one. It's a show that stays with you long after you've finished watching it.
Well, I know what I'm adding to my watch list tonight. Thanks for taking us on this deep dive into the world of Hiramandi. I feel like I have, you know, a much better understanding of the show's historical context, its complex characters, and Pansali's unique vision.
My pleasure. It's always a joy to discuss art that sparks, you know, these fascinating conversations.
And for our listeners, if you're intrigued by what you've heard today, we encourage you to seek out Hiramandi. Dive into this world of opulence, intrigue, and revolution, and discover for yourselves the price of freedom in a society on the brink of change.